I'm gonna say it's interesting. I don't know if it's cool. That might be something that we'll have to kind of take a look at and decide on. I don't know if it's actually cool. We'll see about that. I'm seeing that I got a little bit of an error here that it says it had to reconnect on the stream. So if you're seeing something on your side that was a little weird, sorry about that, but I think we're good. Shinji Akari in the chat. What's up, dude? Good to see you, my friend. I hope the feed is good. I just disconnected my slide from my Wi-Fi. I'm also going to disconnect my phone from the Wi-Fi just to make sure if that's causing an issue. But I've never had that. I got like a, what do you call it now? Fiber T1. What was the thing back in the day when it was like, man, if you didn't have dial-up, you had the next one up, and that was like you were a baller. That's what my internet should be. We shouldn't be having issues here. So maybe that's a Streamlabs issue. We'll see what happens. So we're gonna talk about something that I think is pretty cool, that seems to be taking gaming social media by storm a little bit. In what I mean by that, people are jumping on the bandwagon. It seems pretty cool. Then we're gonna talk about something that, is it cool? I don't know. You're gonna have to be the judge. I've watched a couple of videos on it, and I think where I'm landing on it is like the novelty of it is interesting, but it's just, I don't know who it's for, I guess maybe is what we're gonna go with. We'll talk about a little trip that I took to Fire and Ice Games. Something's on the floor. Maybe it's my Amazon package. I think it's somebody trying to sell me something. We'll talk about my trip to Fire and Ice Games over in Rockland, California. Passed through there and got to pop in there. That was pretty cool. And Game of the Month Club. I not only finished Quackshot a while ago, because I feel like that's a pretty quick, easy playthrough, but like 2 days ago, maybe it's yesterday. It's all a blur. Oh gosh. I finished Link's Awakening, which I should say I finished Link's Awakening DX. Okay, it's not like the original Game Boy. It was like the Game Boy Color re-release, I think is what it was. Finished it. Got some thoughts on that, so we'll talk about that. And then we got the slide up and working, and maybe we'll play some games. We do have to go back and finish Space Quest 5 at some point. Maybe we'll do that today. Maybe we'll jump back into that. We'll see how everybody's feeling. But we're here. We're hanging out. Let's just take it just one moment at a time. Let's savor every moment, guys. Shinji Akari in the chat. Good to see you. Now you see me. Excellent. Sweet. Dude, you're liking Quackshot. I love that. Yes. It's, like I said, it's different. It's a little different than what I had anticipated. I thought of it just as like an action platformer, and it kind of is that, but it's also got some, I guess puzzle. Would you say puzzleness to it? Like, it's got some puzzle elements. It's got some, like, it's not quite, maybe it's like could we fairly say, maybe I'm going to blaspheme here. Could we fairly say, maybe I'll have to make a video like, no, I'm not going to promise a video. I'm just saying maybe somebody needs to offer up the perspective that is Quackshot a Metroidvania light? I think an argument could be made. That's just me. I wasn't expecting that when we played it. Zach in the chat. My boy Rock has. What's going on, dude? Good 2:30 p.m. to you as well. Actually, I'm going to say it's a good 11:35 a.m. for you, Zachariah. I've actually been thinking a lot about you, my friend, and hopefully that doesn't sound weird. But it's weird that anytime I think about Mega Man, I think about you, Zach, and so I have had a little bit of a hankering to like jump into some of the Mega Man games, because I think we've talked about this. Like, way back in the day, finished like Mega Man and Mega Man 2 on the original hardware. I've played Mega Man 3, but anything beyond that, 4, 5, 6, never played them. And I played X, but I don't think I've ever finished X. And then any of the after X games, I haven't finished. Oh my gosh, look at this. As we're talking about it, I've got Wily's Revenge as my, it's like holding my screen down right now while it's in sleep mode. And then, dude, like some access to things like Battle Network. I've never played any of the Battle Network games. So I would be interested, throw it in the chat. I'd be interested to hear kind of what your vibe is on that. And I think, yeah, like I played X. I don't think I played any of the other X games beyond that. And then even, what is the other one that I was seeing recently? Let me, hang on, let me pull this up real quick. It was, oh man, what's the buddy? Zero, right? Okay, there's like some like Zero games, right? Mega Man Zero or something like that. Maybe it was on the Game Boy Advance. So I'm seeing all of these new sort of like access to, and by new, yeah, so Mega Man Battle Network like 1 through 6 or something crazy. Oh yeah, Mega Man 0, 2, 3, and 4. Which, when I say new access, what I mean is I previously owned physical copies of all of these games. But as you know, they were stolen a long time ago. And so now, thank goodness, I backed them all up. And through the joy of backing up your own games and emulation, I now can have re-access to them, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So, what I'm trying to say, my dude, is, you know, thinking about jumping in, dipping a toe. I've been feeling the hankering, so there it is. What do we got? Deeply honored. Oh yeah, dude, of course. Mega Man 0 on GBA 1 through 4. So you're saying those are good ones, or were you just letting me know what those were? Just give me your input on Battle Network. Should I or should I? And the Zero games. I'm saying some of the stuff with the GBA and the Game Boy Color, being able to explore some of those has been really, really cool. Shinji Ikari says, or is Metroid a Quackshot-vania? Dude, that's so good. I love it. That's what we, you know what? Right here, that term, trademark, TM, Shinji Ikari, my boy, Mige, coined the term Quackshot-vania from now on. This crew right here, us, I'm seeing it's me and 4 of you. This crew, we know about it now. Okay, Quackshot-vania. Anytime in a game, I mean in a video, in a live stream, I'm gonna try my best not to say Metroidvania anymore. I'm gonna say Quackshot-vania, and we're gonna know. We were here. We're gonna know. Everybody else is gonna be like, what the heck is he talking about? But we know. We were here. Quackshot-vania. So yeah. So I guess the big question I'm asking is Metroid a Quackshot-vania? That's the question. Throw it out there. Zach says Battle Network. Battle Network is awesome. It's a linear series story-wise, but Battle Network 1 is a little dated. Number 2 could be a starting point for those games. Okay, sweet. When I'm looking at it, it seems like I'm seeing some of the preview stuff on there. It looks kind of tactical, not turn-based necessarily, but there's almost like some tactical stuff to it. Where everything's kind of grid-based in some ways. So I'm like looking at it and I'm like, is this like Final Fantasy Tactics-esque but Mega Man universe, or is there something completely different to it? The way things were moving around, it seemed like a lot more fast-paced. So I'll defer to you on that one. You say Zero is cool. They take place canonically after the X games. Same thing as Battle Network. 0-1 is a little rough, but the others are great. See, I wonder if I just need to commit, maybe in the new year, of just like canonically trying to go through the Mega Man games. Because I enjoy them. There's elements of them that are a little frustrating, but overall, I feel like I enjoy them as I go. So that could be something cool to check it out. Battle Network 1 is like a pseudo card deck builder. Oh, interesting. So is it almost, when you say card deck, it's almost like you're acquiring new abilities and having to kind of like, having to almost kind of build out your attack patterns and stuff like that. Here, while we're talking about it, it might be fun for a little, might be fun to have a little something there that y'all can see. Yeah, interesting. Okay, I'll have to check that out. I'm not opposed to card deck builder-esque stuff. Oh, did I start the game? I didn't mean to. I said go away. I I wanted to do that. Right there. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Gosh, one of the things I love about the RG slide, Ambernick hit me up. Miguel, I appreciate your comment saying, hey, Ambernick, send our boys some stuff. That's one of the things I love here too, is I can download, we can scrape the art, and we can, get some like preview videos and stuff like that. So we can throw some of that up there. That's really cool. It says you move around the grid and you can shoot, but you also have chips or cards that use special attacks, and you build a deck. Okay, interesting. I'm down to give it a shot. I am down to give it a shot. It's not one that I have ever actually played, but when I look at it, it seems intriguing. So that'll be something to check out. All right, speaking of things that look intriguing, I was surfing X, as I do sometimes, and I saw this, and this is kind of popping off right now. I think this has this post has 27 million views. Let me pull this up on the main screen here. Look at this. Okay, so this is a post by a guy named Desimulate, at Desimulate with a 5 in there. This just happened to pop up on my feed randomly. 27 million views, and the tagline on it is just on my way. But what this spawned, kind of an interesting thing that this spawned is this conversation about people being like, very cool, is this a game? He says, if you're a 3D artist and you want to help me make this game, slide into my DMs. This person right here, System Fader, is saying that like the part of what makes this so interesting too is the vertical perspective rather than it being horizontal, which I totally agree. It's kind of an interesting thing. But this art style is really, really interesting. And so people were saying like, is this a game? Is there a game that's like this? A lot of people are pointing towards things like Elder Scrolls. I was like, I had Daggerfall, I had Skyrim in there. People are pointing towards games like that and saying like it's essentially that. I mean, it is essentially that if you're looking at it from the perspective of a medieval fantasy game where you can see the person's hands. Sure. But there's something about this like retro art style with what it kind of reminds me of is when you watch those old documentaries about how Disney would do their animation with like different cells and like the moving camera where they would actually film and like move. They would create that zoom effect by like moving cells closer and farther apart in conjunction with the camera. Like, it's just really interesting. And so it's one of those things where one of the things that I love about X, I'll put it that way, love it or hate it, which there's plenty of reasons to not enjoy it. But what I love about it is you have these indie artists and developers who will post stuff like this, and it can just catch fire like that. Like there's another guy just recently, let me see here. Crud, who was it? I gotta handle all these ridiculous. Oh, this guy right here. Okay, I gotta handle all these notifications. I don't even follow these people. This one popped up. Oh, this is my retweet of it. So this one popped up on my feed. How long ago was this? It was like 2 weeks ago. By this guy here, Anthony V. He goes by, what is this? His handle here is Art of Adval. At Art of Adval. There you go. Anthony V. But he posted this, finally announcing Pulsebreaker, a retro survival horror game inspired by 90s PS1 greats like Resident Evil, Fear Effect. I mean, you can definitely see some of the similarities of things like Resident Evil, Dino Crisis, Silent Hill, which, dude, original Silent Hill, I need to jump on that bandwagon. I've never played through an actual Silent Hill game. That might be a fun one to do on stream sometime. I don't like to get scared, but that might be a fun one to give it a shot at some point. I don't know if you've ever played Silent Hill. I don't know if you're down for it. That could be kind of fun to get wild and have a good time. I have to think about that. But I saw this one, and this is one that he's putting together, saying, hey, go wish list it on Steam. Pulsebreaker. It says, ward off zombies, manage scarce resources in this haunting world. I just love seeing this kind of stuff, man. I just love seeing these independent artists, these indie developers doing this kind of cool stuff. And so, I guess I don't follow Anthony. Let me go follow this guy right now. But that's another one. Here, let's go look at the Steam store. There it is, right there. Boom. I'm not signed in. I'll sign in later and pop this bad boy on the wish list. But it looks cool. Totally down. Gunplay is deep and becomes more varied with each new weapon you acquire. Stagger a monster with a well-timed shot. Exploit the weakness to emerge victorious. It'll be interesting to see what the story is and stuff like that. It's like, you know, beyond the gimmick of this kind of like 3D survival horror tank control Resident Evil vibe. What else is there that's going to kind of, you know, take us in a little bit deeper? So when it says manage your inventory, solve light puzzles, and survive with limited supplies, that also actually makes me wonder, is this a linear narrative, or is it a, what's it called? Is it going to be like a little more, not open world, but like a more survival based? That could be interesting too. I'm not opposed to that. Anyway, it looks cool. I'm interested to see what that looks like. Let's see here. Shinji says, I've never played a Mega Man game. Can you believe it? Dude. No. That's pretty crazy. I would say, for my money, if I was coming in hot, if I have the knowledge that I have now, but I'm also coming in a little bit hot, not having played a Mega Man game before, I want to say, and Zach, as the community expert on this, please correct me when I say this, and I'm if you guys can still see and hear me. Yeah, stream froze. Okay. Yep. That's what I thought. Let's see here. Let's take it back to... You can hear me? Okay, great. All right. Hang on one second. Let me fix a couple of things. I will be right back. So I can see. Sorry, I'm like so distracted right now. This is really frustrating. I can see that you guys can see. You can hear my mic. I'm getting some meters there. So right now. Overwhelming my USB issues. Okay, my Bluetooth just came back online. I can hear things now. Let's see if the camera kicks on. I believe the RG slide is sort of like overwhelming USB power. And so I've tried removing a couple of USB devices in an effort to fix that. And here, I'm going to unplug my camera. And it looks like it did not fix the issue, but also as part of that, I ordered a powered USB hub. There we are. Hello, everybody. I ordered a powered USB hub from Amazon that was supposed to be overnighted, and it was supposed to be here by 8 a.m. today.
So, fun fact, I got a notification saying we attempted to deliver your package at 5:30 a.m. this morning, but we couldn't access your property. We couldn't gain access to your property in order to drop it off. Well, so the thing that's buck wild, Amazon, and I'm gonna have to hit them up after the stream. I don't live in a gated community. I live on it's a normal street. From the sidewalk, you can walk right up to my door, and you can just put it on the porch like you've done 1,000 times. So to say that it was out for delivery and that at 5:30 this morning you attempted to deliver it, but you couldn't gain access to the property is, to quote Ron Burgundy, I don't believe you. So there's that. So that powered USB hub, I think, was going to offload some of the issues and then not have basically what we just had happen, what we had happen at the end of the stream last week, which is I think the USBs are getting overwhelmed with the amount of power they're trying to pull. And at a certain point, they just all deactivate. I lose everything that's USB and everything that's Bluetooth. It all just cuts out for a couple of minutes and then it pops back on. So that sucks, but we're back. All right, let's see. Let's catch up a little bit with this chat. Shelf. Oh, what's up, dude? Good to see you. GB Mega Mans are great. Okay. Never played the Battle Network games. I assume they're like Pokemon mixed with Mega Man. There's also the Mega Man AX series, which is similar to Metroid. Whoa. Okay. Are you saying that like Mega Man AX is sort of like a Quackshot Mania? Is that what we're kind of saying? Huh. Let me look into this real quick. You're saying Mega Man AX. I don't know that I've even heard of that before. Are we just saying like Mega Man? There's a hub world in AX. What? Let's see. Shelf says, yeah, the Amazon, it sounds like a BS excuse from an early morning gig driver that couldn't make all the runs by a certain time. Yeah. I like your style. I like your style a lot. Okay, hang on. There's a hub world in AX. What system was this for? Because even when I'm Googling Mega Man AX, nothing is popping up here. Unless is it like... Are we talking about the X series? Just check out a video for more clarification on the AX games. Huh, yeah, I'll have to look into that. I've never heard of that before. Okay, so then... we took a look at that tweet, or X, or whatever you want to call it, for that like 3D medieval retro game. It looks really interesting. I'm intrigued by that. I think that's really cool. You're saying ZX. Mega Man ZX? Oh, interesting. Let's look at some images. Dude. Okay, how about some vidjas? Do we have a vidya of it? Okay. I'll have to... Okay, actually, let's click this one, and let's kill the audio on it. Who is this? This is Game Teep. 150k subs. Okay? Don't at me, bro. Okay, interesting. What system did you say this was for? It looks like... Was this like PS1 era? Interesting. Huh. I can get down on this. See, dude, I just feel like there's so much untapped. When it comes to Mega Man, there's so much untapped stuff. I'm gonna have to give it a shot. By the way, great video. Top left corner there. Great video by Jason Graves. Zelda 1, an unplayable cryptic wreck. That was great. I enjoyed that. Okay, let's talk about the one here that I don't know if this is cool. You're going to have to decide if this is cool or not, okay? I'm going to pop it over here. This is hitting YouTube. If you're in the retro handheld ecosystem, zeitgeist, whatever you want to say, this is the thing right now. This is on Indiegogo. This is the OneXSugar, and this is a this is kind of the newest handheld that's sort of popping off right now, because the Indiegogo, I think, is getting ready to end. It's got 30 days left. As you can see, they are, good lord, they are so funded. It is not even funny how funded they are. They're funded for days. Okay. I think we could watch, or I'll put it this way. I won't play the video with audio, but I'll play their video so we can kind of see what it is. I wish that I could play the audio. In fact, I'm gonna put this link in the chat right now. Okay, there it is. At a certain point today, I want you to go there and I want you to watch this video again, because we're gonna watch it without audio right now. But what I need you to know is that this video has such vibes. Whoever their marketing person was did a great job, because what this reminds me of, I don't know if this may not resonate for everybody, and especially if you're international. I don't know if this may not be a thing for you. There were these commercials, okay, that used to come on back in the day, for different things, okay? But there was like this one here. This was okay, so it was like these weird websites that were all about like getting you information about what colleges you could go to. There was stuff for like your credit report. Like they all felt very connected in some way, but they were for different services. So I don't know if they had like the same marketing company, or if they had like, if they were all owned by the same company, but they were for, I don't know, like maybe all of the services were owned by the same corporation. I don't know how exactly it worked, but they all had kind of this vibe with their commercials. This one is probably the most infamous. I mean, yeah, this has like 3 million views. So again, I don't know if you're international, this may not have been a thing for you, but you would see these definitely on the weekend. But I feel like if you were like homesick, you would see these on like midday afternoon television. And this one specifically was called Education Connection, and it's basically this girl who's singing about like, you know, she was looking for a job that was going to pay her enough money, but she wanted to get a degree so she could make more money. So she went to Education Connection, and then like they gave her a list of colleges and like financial aid, and she was able to figure out so like she can go get a degree and she can make more money. Okay, and like the music, it's one of those things where like the music was like really bad but super catchy. And so these commercials just became almost like a time capsule of like early 2000s. These are kind of retro in their own right, and they're so cheesy and bad. Okay, it just has, they all had this very similar vibe. And if you've seen this before or you know what this is, then you know what I'm talking about. So I don't know who the marketing person was, but as soon as I saw this Indiegogo video, Marcone in the chat, he remembers it. Thank you, my friend. As soon as I saw this video, it's like a mixture of like that really wonderful Japanese, when you think of things like you know, Kamen Rider and like Power Rangers and all that stuff from like the earlier days, mixed with an Education Connection commercial. Oh my gosh. So, I want to encourage you to click on the link that I put in the chat later on. Watch this with audio because it's wonderful. It's so good. But Jay Ritt in the chat, what's up, dude? And like, look at the graphics. Oh my god, like the way they're doing the graphics, it even almost has like watching it without sound, it almost reminds me of more of like a Sunny D commercial from the 90s. But when you hear the music and the visuals together, then you get the education connection vibe. But all I'm trying to say is they did a great job. But this is the OneXSugar. This is a new retro handheld that was funded on Indiegogo that essentially is like, look at it, it folds, and it has a dual screen, so you can fold the handles down and the top screen down, and it has the form factor of like a Switch. You can then fold up the top screen, so then you have the form factor of a Switch, but with like a top screen that you can do things like DS or things like that. It also works independently. So what's really interesting is you can be playing down here in the horizontal form factor, but then you have this extra screen up top that it works independently. So you could have like a walkthrough that you're scrolling through, or you could have, I mean, if you're like getting really wild and you're like needing like multiple sources of media, I guess you're like playing a game and watching a YouTube video or all kinds of things like that. So you can do that, okay? You can flip it over, fold the handles down. As you can see here, this is the thumbnail for TechDweeb did a review on it, which if you don't watch TechDweeb and you're into retro handhelds, what are you even doing with your life? This guy's brilliant. You fold it down like that, and then it almost has like, again, like a 3DS or like a DS vibe, where you've got a top screen and a bottom screen that can do touch and stuff like that. I want to see if they have actual, because everybody's kind of showing those two random form factors, but I was wondering if they actually showed like more photos of it. Yeah, there you can kind of see the folding mechanism and how the controls can change. They're magnetic, so they snap, but they're on a hinge. And so guys like Russ at Retro Game Core and TechDweeb, they got like a prototype model, and apparently there's going to be some things that are changed as they send out like the final bit. But this thing, I don't know, man. I just don't know. Here's what I'll tell you. It's incredibly powerful. So the chips and the stuff that it has in it, when you're watching some of these guys running some tests on it, I mean, no problem doing things like Switch and like PC emulation and stuff like that. It's very powerful, which is interesting to me because when I look at it, it doesn't look like a premium. I don't know why. And maybe that's just me. It doesn't feel like it would be at the height of power and a premium thing. It almost feels like it would be kind of middle of the road, but it has a gimmick to it. And that's not the case. It's incredibly powerful and outperforms a lot of like some of the higher end things that we would think about when it comes to like handheld gaming. But it also has this really funky, quirky thing that it does with these screens and the foldability and all that. The thing, you can see a little bit more here about how it unfolds and all that. The thing that I think is going to be tough and is probably going to be a killer on this thing, and I could be wrong, it right now with this, you can see right there, the early bird is $599. And then I think after the early bird, it's going to be like $6 or $7.99, which seems just crazy, man. Just crazy. I don't know how you justify the cost of something like this. Unless there's just something about this form factor and its ability to do what it's doing that just really speaks to you. I just don't understand the price, which is just, yeah, crazy. See, yeah, in the first 72 hours of launch, it'll be $599. After that, it'll be $669. So, yeah, the Sugar One. Like I said, is it cool? I don't know. Like, I look at it and I love the gimmick of it. But man, the price tag on this thing is buck wild. And you could get. I'm not like a big Steam Deck advocate over here, but I'm like, yeah, you could get like the highest tier Steam Deck. That's basically, I think, going to do just about. I'm never going to be the authority when it comes to, all the stats and all that kind of stuff. I'm not as much of a tech dweeb as some. We have a tech dweeb who can handle that. But it looks fun. I'll say that. I just don't think I could pull. I don't think I could pull the trigger on that price. Holy cow, dude! Just ridiculous. Let's see. Shinji says it looks very uncomfortable to hold. Yeah, that was one of the things I think that Russ at Retro Game Core talked about, is that like, or was it the Tech Dweeb? One of them talked about the fact that the edges are very square, and so even in like the horizontal factor, you don't feel. It may not. The edges are kind of sharp. Like it may not be as comfortable to some, but I mean, it's kicking butt, dude. It's kicking butt on the stats. Slush Hole says, "Rest in peace, Ozzy." Did Ozzy Osborne die? Is that what we're talking about? I know Malcolm Jamal Warner passed away. Ozzy Osborne. Oh no! Look at that. Second thing. Is Ozzy gone? No way! Holy cow. Let's go on over to... Let's go to the BBC, y'all. Let's keep it classy and go to the BBC. Hey, we're breaking this right now on the stream. Ladies and gentlemen, Black Sabbath Ozzy Osbourne dies at age 76. Dang, dude. I mean, let's be honest here. We saw this coming a long time ago, right? Hey, Slushhole, don't apologize, bro. Thanks for breaking it. Thanks for breaking it right here, dude. I appreciate that. Dude, Ozzy has been in... I feel like... Okay, when did the Osbournes come out? The Osbournes show. Okay, the Osbournes TV show. I want to say what? Like, I'm not going to look at the screen. Maybe 2007, 8? Oh, no. 2002 to 2005. Okay, that's even older than I thought. Okay. I don't know about you, but back when the Osbournes popped off, it was a big deal. Like, it was kind of like this big crazy thing that, like, Ozzy would do a reality show. Okay? Back then, that was 20 years ago. The dude was 55. He was looking rough then. So I can't believe he lasted this long. Good for him, dude. I got to see Ozzy live one time. Back around that era, it would have been like 2005, 2006. I went to Ozfest at the Shoreline Amphitheater. One of the coolest shows I ever went to. I got to see A Dozen Furies, which if you watched the Road to Ozfest show, A Dozen Furies was on there. Got to see, dude, Killswitch Engage, Trivium, As I Lay Dying, but on the like main stage was that was when it was Black Sabbath was the closer, but like not exactly like a co-headliner, but almost like a co-headliner was Iron Maiden. And so I'd never seen either one of them live. And so being able to see Iron Maiden was... I'm not like a huge Iron Maiden guy, you know, and I'm not even like a huge Black Sabbath or Ozzy guy, but it is one of those things. Like, I'm definitely much more of a Killswitch Engage vibe, but it's legendary. It's like one of those things where it's like, it's just it's a legend, you know. It's like, I wish I could have saw David Bowie. Like, I'm a big Bowie fan, but it's like David Bowie. I would have loved to see David Bowie live before he died. Something like Ozzy, you know, it's like you want to see him live because he's a legend. So there you go. But dang, dude, age 76. Mark Cohen, holy crap, or should I say unholy crap? Oh man. There you go. Let's see here. It says, the family, it is with more sadness than mere words can convey that we have to report that our beloved Ozzy passed away this morning. Dang. Buck wild, dude. Here you go. 50 years of rock. Dude, he once again fronted the band at Download Festival in 2012, so this was even before. Yeah, so I saw him like in between these two, which if you look at these photos, like there's how many years between these photos? Like 15 years? Dude, he's still looking pretty good right there, man. He kept the audience entertained in the weeks before his death at a Black Sabbath reunion on July 5th. Dang. Just like 2 weeks ago, this guy's on stage. That's wild. Well, there you go, dude. R.I.P. Ozzy. You know? I'm not saying I was a huge fan at all, but he's a rock legend. He's a rock legend, so there you go. Can't believe he lasted that long. Dang. Freaking Ozzy, dude. That's crazy. Well, here's the deal. You lose one legend, you gain another in the Sugar one. So, dude, may the spirit of rock and roll and the spirit of Ozzy live on in the OneXSugar. That's all I'm saying. It's bucking trends, you know. It's so metal. It's like different than anything else out there. Feels accurate. Feels appropriate, if you ask me, I guess. Shelf says that was a common formula back then, trying to get a celebrity into the real word formula. Gary Busey. Dude, Gary Busey. Speaking of Gary Busey, I started watching Black Sheep with Chris Farley and David Spade, recently for like the first time in, I don't know, what, 20 years? I forgot how good that movie was, dude. Speaking of R.I.P., dude, Chris Farley. I know I'm late to the game, but... all right. A couple of last things that we'll talk about here. If you're over on the Discord, or if you've been watching the streams recently, you know that we're doing the Game of the Month Club. Something that we started just a couple of months ago, and starting in June, we played through. Dude, it's like a blur to me. What did we play through in June? Getting old. It sucks. What did we play in June? I can't even remember. Somebody will put it in the chat. In June, we played something. Star Tropics and... Or was it just Star Tropics? Yeah, the first month we just did one. We did Star Tropics. Okay, so we played through Star Tropics. That was great. This month we're doing... we did 2 games. We did Quackshot and Link's Awakening. And... the month is coming to a close, so you got a few more days to jump in and finish, but I think we decided last week, kind of by unanimous decision here in the stream with the crew, that we're gonna go with Shadow of the Colossus, and we're gonna do that together. I may do it on stream if they will deliver my hub, if Amazon actually delivers my hub and that fixes my issue, then we'll play it on stream. But Link's Awakening, I played the DX version, which was on the Game Boy Color, and I had never played through Link's Awakening. It was one of those games that when it hit... I'm trying to find it here, sorry. I thought I had it. Oh, wait, there it is. No. Why am I on 64? What am I even doing with my life right now? It was one of those games back in the day where I didn't have a Game Boy Color for the longest time. And then I think this one... I just sort of like wanted to bypass it in some ways because I assumed that it was sort of a remake of A Link to the Past, which in some ways it's not a remake of Link to the Past, but in some ways it sort of recycles a lot of the same ideas. And I think I saw that and thought, why do I want to play like a downgraded version of Link to the Past? I have Link to the Past. So that's not the case. It is definitely standalone story, standalone dungeons, like everything about it is pretty unique. It's much more robust than I had anticipated. I thought it was going to be more of like a bite-sized adventure, but it does feel like a full, like, for the most part, like a full-featured Zelda experience. That being said, I don't know about this one, man. I know that there's a lot of people who have a lot of love for this game. I think it's like one of the first. I think for some people, it's like one of the first games that they, or one of the first Zelda games that they experienced. Because maybe they didn't have a Super Nintendo, or maybe they had like, maybe they got it on the Game Boy originally or something like that. I don't really know, but it seems like from what I've been seeing on YouTube that there's a lot of people where Link's Awakening was sort of their favorite Zelda game. And in some ways I think that's refreshing to hear, because you either hear Link to the Past, which is the right answer, or you hear Ocarina of Time, which I think is, at least in my opinion, Ocarina of Time is good, but I kind of feel like, and maybe this is blasphemy to some folks, I kind of feel like Ocarina of Time is good for what it was when it came out. Maybe I need to play through it again, but I think there's probably a lot of nostalgia that's tied to that. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm making some big claims here, but it was interesting and refreshing to hear people say like this was their first Zelda game, and that they really loved it. The thing that I'll say about it, I hear a lot of people talking about how the world is much more quirky than other Zelda games, and that the characters and stuff like that it's just like a little bit refreshing and different than most of the other Zelda games that have been made up to that point. And I think I kind of can vibe on that a little bit, and I think there's a reason for that becomes more clear as you play through the narrative and eventually as you finish the game, of why things are a little bit quirky. I will say, if you finished it, I won't give any spoilers here if you haven't finished it, for people who are still playing through it, possibly in the Game of the Month Club. I might be alone in this one. I don't know that a lot of people took, and it was a little bit daunting. The thing I will say is there's a lot of people who talk about the emotional side of the story, and especially like the way that the ending sort of happens and what that means for everybody who's involved in the story. I could see that. I don't know. I didn't find myself like emotionally locked in with this one as much as maybe I did with something like Link to the Past, or even something like Ocarina of Time. Like, we talked about this, I think, on the stream a little bit. It might have been in the stream, or it might have been over on Discord, but I remember talking about the fact that there was elements of Ocarina of Time that felt really weird, like creepy, like liminal space type stuff that like was just a weird vibe. So I could feel like I had more feelings about that game, I think, and about Link to the Past than something like this. Although I will say that the what's the word I'm looking for? The implications for what happens in the story, there's a reason to feel a little tinge of sadness about it, I guess is one way to put it. Like, it's pretty tough. And I don't know, I just didn't find myself getting sucked in the same way. I think I felt like the dungeons and the puzzles and some of that stuff were just a little bit obtuse for me. There was just times where either something kind of didn't make sense, or what the solution was, I'm like, okay, I get it, but... Or I guess, okay, there was times where the solution was so simple that it almost felt like, why is this a puzzle? If the solve for it is one hit of my sword, why is it even a puzzle? You know what I mean? And then there was some stuff where it was like so obscure that you're like, holy cow, what were they thinking with this? So, in the Discord, I posted kind of a final shot that I had finished it. And Shinji Akari, aka Mikuge, he asked me the question, was it worth it? And that's a great question. Was it worth it? I think to be able to say that I played through and experienced it, and especially something that I'm seeing is very meaningful for a lot of people, it was worth it in that sense to just have the experience and be able to like be a part of that. But at the end of the day, I think when it comes down to the two games, Quackshot, Link's Awakening, I think it's clear that Link's Awakening is probably more impactful of a game, like in the overall scope of like gaming, like retro gaming. Quackshot, I feel like, is just like this sort of like this, maybe not obscure, but just like this kind of side, you know, B tier, C tier action platformer that I haven't heard a lot of people have an opinion about. So I think Link's Awakening is definitely more of like a meaningful, impactful thing in the gaming scope of things. But out of the two, I kind of enjoyed Quackshot a lot more. So there's that. So there you go. Shinji says, man, that slide is so sexy. Dude, I know. I love it so much. It is, like, again, everything. I really appreciate what some of the stuff that these guys do. I really appreciate what some of these guys do with their in-depth reviews and like getting into all the like aspects of the different chips and all that kind of stuff, because that's really helpful. That needs to be out there. But I also think that sometimes it can get in the weeds and like just little things start to get nitpicky, and like, so everything, again, I said this like initially when I unboxed it, and then I said it again the next week when we streamed, and then now I think being, how long have I had this thing? Like a month? 3 weeks? 2.5, like 3 weeks, I think. All the stuff about it being uncomfortable or too heavy and all that stuff, to me, greatly exaggerated. I am loving it. It's become my primary. As you'll see in a short that I'm going to put up, I think I'm going to put up a short tomorrow. My youngest, she's been really enjoying Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. Speaking of voice being too high pitched. She's been enjoying Rescue Rangers on the NES, and so I got a little short over the shoulder of her playing and kind of trying to beat the first level. And so she's even enjoying it. And so it's become like my primary. I'm carrying it everywhere. I'm really enjoying it. So, yeah, it's really cool. All right, we got a few more minutes here. Let me check out this chat real quick. Jay Ritz says, definitely a full Zelda game. Fantastic Game Boy title. Yes, much more robust than I would have anticipated. Put it that way. Much more robust. Let's see. Shinji says, I played Ocarina of Time in 2010, and I still think it's one of the best games ever made. I have a lot of nostalgia for it. I feel like I need to revisit it and give it a shot. Maybe that's one that we put on the docket for a live stream at some point too, and just kind of experience that all together. Marcone skipped Zelda. Have not touched Quackshot. Honestly, you still have time. Like, it feels like once you get the vibe, it's a pretty quick playthrough, I feel like. So I want to say I finished it in like a couple of hours over the course of like a few days. So it's very approachable. There's a couple of spots that are like a little bit cryptic, but not overly. It's not overly cryptic, and it starts to make sense once you play through some of the levels. Here's the thing I'll tell you. It's not linear. So it's not like you're going to play a level, finish it all the way through, and then go to the next level. There's going to be multiple levels that are open to you, but in order to progress through them, you're going to need an item from a different stage. And once you kind of get the pattern down, or you've played through a few of them, things start to click and you realize, oh, I need to go here, get that, that'll take me back here. So, yeah, it's a Quackshot-vania. What can I tell you? You know, that's just what it is, but you're going to enjoy it. It just means the voice higher pitch. After we had the USB fail and I came back, maybe something happened, and it's been higher pitch this whole time. I'll see in the replay. I don't know. I know it was good when we started, but if it changed from then, it's possible. Let's see. Shelf says, I want a Chic Years one-shot game. That could be interesting. That could be a vibe. Shinji says, thank you, Rob. I had a couple of rough days in the stream. Always cheers me up. Oh, geez, dude. Hey, man. Glad to help. And, you know, dude, the days start coming and they don't stop coming, said a wise man one time. So all we can do is take it one day at a time. And then it helps to have communities like this and a crew like this where we can just connect over things that bring us joy. And, you know, you can just show up as you are and you know, just be a part of the community and just know that you're never alone. So my pleasure. That kind of stuff, dude. More than like I've been you know, watching my my studio view, and I've been seeing that for some reason, I don't know why, but in the last like week, I think I've taken on like another like 20 subscribers maybe. I don't know what from, because all I'm doing is I've been streaming. Maybe it's the handheld. Streaming the handheld stuff is bringing in some new folks, which is really cool, because I want to create some more content, like standalone content around that. All that to say, new people coming in the door, and I don't know why, but I love seeing that number climb, because like I've said, my goal is I'd love to hit 10,000 by the end of this year. That feels like much more of a lofty goal as we get further into the year, but we'll see what happens. But at the end of the day, regardless of what that number's at, seeing stuff like that and being able to connect with you guys, like that's like seeing that kind of stuff, my friend, being able to connect with you guys, and me being able to, rather than trying to figure out like what is the perfect content or what's the thing that's going to pop off, and instead me just being able to show up authentically and like share with you guys what I'm into, and us being able to connect over that stuff, like that's the win, dude. So I love that so much. So I'm glad to hear that, dude. Shelf says we need to be a part of her Jedi training. Oh yeah, for the Sheik standalone, dude. That would be sick. Again, it's one of those things where it's like it'd be a little bit of a gamble, because it is like a little bit niche maybe, but at this point, I mean, with Zelda, they could probably, and especially, dude, now like on newer consoles with things like Tears of the Kingdom and stuff like that, like they could probably do something really cool. Even if it was like a little bit of like a side questy, like a diverted narrative, you know, where you kind of share. I don't know. It's an interesting idea. I'm not opposed to it. Zach, Rob is huffing helium, dude. When the USB shuts down and I come back, you never know what you're going to get. I don't even know. Maybe the camera's all inverted right now. Who knows? Noah Robinson, what's going on, dude? Gonna apply the second coat of stain of my coffee table project. I'll be back soon and boot up my 406V to join in. Dang! I love that. Unfortunately, I've only got about 2 minutes left, but you're in the right place, Noah. Good to see you. Your name seems new. So if you've been here for a while and I'm not recognizing it, I'm so sorry. But I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. And you're in the right place. Shelf says they just released a Zelda-only game on Switch. Oh, yeah. Isn't it kind of in the style of the Link's Awakening remake that was on the Switch? And then I'm going to have to get out of here. We're almost at time. Let's see. Zelda standalone Switch game. I feel like I saw something where she was like riding a horse, maybe? Yeah, it is not popping up on my YouTube. I'll have to look into that a little bit more. I feel like I saw something like that, and it looked interesting. All right, as we're wrapping up here, guys, if you're not subscribed to the channel and you're here, if you can hit the subscribe button, that'd be super helpful. If you can give a thumbs up right now, everybody can just like pause what you're doing, thumbs up the stream, even here at the end. That'll be cool for some discoverability on the back end. Marcone dropping the Discord links in there. My blue light turning off. You know what that means. Batteries are dying. Things are shutting down. The stream is getting ready to come to an end. Head on over to the Discord. You still got time. You do not have time to do Link's Awakening unless you are an absolute beast. And if you are, dude, do it and gain renown within the crew. I dare you. But you still got time to do Quackshot. I believe in you. You can do it. Join us for that. And if you're interested in supporting the channel, Patreon links are also down in the description. So check that out if that is your vibe. Thank you guys for being here and hanging out. Thanks for being here in the midst of the some of the tech issues we're having. Like I said, hopefully the USB hub works and that'll fix some of those things. We'll get into actually playing some slide games on the stream. Let's see, what else we got here? Let's see. Shinji says, see you guys on Discord. Yeah, meet us over there. Zach says, final words, play more Mega Man. Oh, hey, those are great words to end it on, except for one last thing. We can continue this conversation over in the Discord. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think. We've got a cast for the live-action Zelda movie. I'm not even going to give you my opinion yet. I want to know. I want to know what you think over in the Discord. Pop over there. Talk to me. We'll keep talking about it. We'll keep playing some games. Hey, Thomas Lester, subscribing over on YouTube. Thanks, my friend. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a part of that. All right, my dudes, I got to get out of here. Stay rad. Never trust a reseller. All that good stuff. You know the drill. So good to hang with you. Have a great week. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. And I'll see you soon. Peace out.